It's nighttime at the University of Smooth. Time for some more dark arts. Welcome back to the middle of the Midwest. I'm your host, Nixon the Dark, and it's a special occasion here at the university. Our annual guys, girls bowling outing. Two guys, two girls. Get your shoes, get your ball, and get ready for combat. I'm kidding. Of course, we couldn't possibly expect two men and two women to be on the same bowling team. That would require cooperation that at inconceivable levels between men and women. We don't do that here. We know our audience. Guys, how many of you have been in a situation like this? At work, there's a golf outing on the calendar. It's coming up next week. Kathy is coming around looking for a fourth for the group. It's her, her boyfriend, and Becky. Becky's hot. You've had your eye on Becky for the last couple of months. Maybe she's a new coworker, maybe she's a friend of Kathy's. Either way, Becky is absolutely on your radar, and maybe you're slightly on her radar. But you suck at golf. You are terrible. You are at best moderately athletic, and you have not swung a golf club in several years. You know that if you get out there on the golf course, your swing is going to look clumsy and stupid, and you will be shanking the ball all over the place. Let's assume that this is an all else being equal, simplistic scenario, no alcohol involved, no other factors that may influence her perception. Do you go? Do you golf with Becky? This is the dark arts. Of course you don't. We are teaching you how to indirectly manipulate a woman's perception. We are teaching you how to be an asshole here. Of course you don't go golfing in this scenario with Becky. You do not want to leave her with the impression that you are weak, with the impression that you are clumsy, that you are graceless, that you are unable to compete. Subjective perception when it comes to attractiveness, when it comes to the sexual marketplace, when it comes to trying to get something going with somebody else is reality. What she sees, especially if she doesn't know you that well and she doesn't have a large sample of encounters with you, she will see you performing like an oaf, like a doofus, maybe even swinging that club like a girl. And that perception will stick. No matter how much she tries to override that subjective impression that she has from how you've performed, it will stick. And if you don't have other value that's truly bulletproof, guess what's going to weigh down her decision on whether she wants to move forward with any type of relationship with you? Some of you have probably seen a version of this story. I've certainly heard of it happening at least once. I don't know names, but I suspect it's actually a pattern that repeats from time to time. A woman is dating some big badass professional fighter. MMA, boxing, I don't know, kickboxing. Do they still kickbox? Maybe he's a wrestler. And he gets his ass kicked. Right after the fight, the girl breaks up with him. She cannot get the image of this guy getting his ass kicked out of her mind. And this guy is a badass ass kicker for a living, and she couldn't even handle seeing him get beat up once. That's how powerful perception is. Women have a real ick problem. Women will possibly ick their way out of several rewarding relationships between now and when their fertility window closes. And they will have nobody but themselves to blame. Sometimes those icks are completely arbitrary. That is a problem that women must deal with. There is no reason for you to give a woman an unforced ick by letting her see you perform poorly at something you are terrible at. I know you are such an asshole. How dare you try and date a woman without letting her know you're bad at golf? You sick son of a bitch. Final thought. Do not confuse this perception rule, this clever sidestepping of landmines with letting people walk all over you because you avoid confrontation. When you are confronted and when your boundaries are tested, it is incumbent upon you to hold your boundaries. You do not need to be a skilled ass kicker to deal with every confrontation. When we recommend that you build physicality, It's definitely a plus when you know how to handle yourself in any potential altercation, but you do not need to be a black belt fighter to get through every single personal confrontation. Most of them can be handled by letting somebody else know their behavior is unacceptable. So you do not shy away from confrontation just because you have this rule in your mind that looking weak in front of a woman is a bad thing. It is unequivocally a bad thing, but so is being a doormat. Know the difference between playing to your strengths and avoiding your weaknesses versus avoiding confrontation at all costs. Thanks for listening. Like, subscribe, throw some hate in the comments for this one. Maybe we'll get to it. Take care.